Hello everyone and welcome to the Monday message for Monday, January 4th, 2020. This is Darren, and first we're going to start out with some NorCal notes. In our NorCal notes today, we have quite a few. We have Amy Boyd. She has an anniversary on January 7th. She started in 2013. Also, Sarah Holt has an anniversary on the 9th of January. She started in 2017. And also, it's Sarah Holt's birthday, which is January 9th. And also, don't forget that Martin Luther King Day is January 18th, and that is going to be the first time that we celebrate that holiday at NorCal. So make sure that is on your calendar. Also, we have some fundraising notes. We raised a total of $29,032 in the New Year's Eve holiday and weekend special pledge drive that we held on television. So thanks to everybody who made that happen. Thanks to a great schedule, Karen, and for James and Cindy and Vanessa for managing those memberships. Now, at next week's Monday message, we'll have an update on how we did with end-of-year giving. So make sure that you tune in for that on the next Monday message. Also, we have some staff notes that I would like to tell you about. So, you know, we've had the goal of bolstering our news department and making sure that we had a full complement of news folks so that we could expand our coverage that we do in Sonoma County. So I would like to announce our new news team. Greta Mart is our new news director. Greta has been news director at KCBX in San Luis Obispo for 4 years, with radio in Alaska and print in the Bay Area before that. We're also adding 2 new reporters to the roster, including Mark Alpert and Tessa Paoli. They're our new reporters. Mark was most recently with North State Public Media with a strong print background before that, and Tessa is a 2020 UCB J-School grad with some impressive freelance credentials at Cap Radio, KALW, and Snap Judgment. And Tessa also speaks Spanish, so that will bode well for our future coverage in this area. I want to thank Chris Lee for spearheading the search for our new news department, and here in a few weeks we'll get everybody on board, and this is going to be very, very exciting. So I'm very happy to announce that. Also, I want to remind everybody about our staff equity training. We have training sessions 1 and 2 for all staff, and training session 3 is for the leadership team. Training 1 will be Tuesday, January 12th from 1 to 3. Training 2 will be Tuesday, January 19th from 1 to 3. And Training 3 for managers will be January 26th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And remember, that is mandatory to join that equity training for NorCal Public Media. Also, I want to remind everybody about the National NEDA Conference. That's coming up soon, and don't forget about this conference. It's held by NEDA and CPB. It is the Thought Leader Forum, and it runs from January 25th to January 28th. And this is a valuable national meeting for professional development. And I've attended in person. It's full of great breakout sessions and discussions. And this year we have paid for the entire staff to join the conference virtually. So click on the link in this email to register right now. We only have 8 people of our 40-person staff who have registered thus far, which is very disappointing. So make sure you get those registrations in. I know everybody was distracted by the holidays, but this is a great opportunity. And the way you do that is when you register, you put in the code NORCAL. And that code means that you'll register for free underneath our blanket coverage. This year's speakers include Henry Louis Gates Jr., CPB President Pat Harrison, NEDA President Eric Hippa, PBS President Paula Kerger, and also Yamiche Alcindor, who is a great reporter from PBS NewsHour. And if you're familiar with Yamiche, she won one of the Best Journalism Awards in the past year. And also, she is always gets under the skin of our president in the press conferences, back when they used to have press conferences. So she represents the PBS NewsHour very, very well, and we're proud to have her as part of this conference. Another reminder, on the second day of the conference, which is January 26th, the Public Media Awards will be handed out, and NorCal has a slate of awards that are up this year, so make sure you tune in for that. on January 26th. And that's the NETA conference, which runs January 25th through the 28th. Registration is free for everybody on staff, so make sure you click on the link in this email and join that immediately. Now, I want to end today by showing a video. It's about 5 minutes long, so bear with us on this, but this is a year in review video of some of the highlights of things that happened in 2020 at NorCal Public Media. So I'm going to end with this video today, so I want to remind everybody to stay safe, stay strong, work together, and I'll talk to you soon. These town hall programs give you the opportunity to ask public health officials, medical professionals, and elected leaders the questions that are on your mind. You do that by visiting the easy-to-use contact form on our website, norcalpublicmedia.org/coronavirus.
I think that we might have some large clusters and family groups that could be driving some of that. But we're going to be looking into what are the other reasons why we're seeing this, because it is a little bit of a surprising finding. Still, we want to make sure that we're abiding by all of our recommendations to minimize transmission. So as we said, we have the physical distancing 6 feet apart whenever possible. If not possible, facial coverings to make sure there's lots of hygiene in terms of hand washing.
We really want to push people and support people as they get into housing so that they can do the distancing that they need to do during this time. But this was money that we needed all along.
And the whole time I covered, every time I wasn't shooting, I either stood in a doorway or stood behind a car or stood behind some type of metal object to shield me. I just sensed that somebody was going to get injured. So when I heard that woman or that person call out for a medic, and I came and saw what was a 20-year-old girl with a severe head injury, bleeding, and actually getting aid from a medic that was on site at that time. And I ended up photographing that moment. To be honest, I wasn't surprised to see it.
From George Floyd's death last week, and Breonna Taylor's in Louisville, and Ahmaud Arbery, just all the events in Minneapolis, and just here locally because of this, and of course Andy Lopez, as we had the anniversary here this week of his passing.
So you've been out overnight covering the glass fire. Tell me, what has your experience been like out in the field? I
arrive at the scene and there's literally hundreds of elderly people sitting in folding chairs. And then there were rows or lines of city buses, filled to capacity with elderly residents, mostly all masked.
Many of the houses along Highway 12, on both sides of Highway 12, may have succumbed in the flames last night and this morning. But I see strength, determination, we will get through it, coming together even in a socially distanced way during COVID. And I know from my personal journey that to those who did lose homes, never give up.
You can also vote in person at the City Hall, at the voting center outside of the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium. And also, you can, in case you just want to return your ballot directly to the department without having to go through USPS, we will have 11 drop-off stations open across the city.
At the end of the day, everyone gets affected by whatever is changed about the local government, the state government, the federal government.
Stakes are a lot higher. It's a lot more important what we're going through. I think that getting involved and voting and having the election go a certain way will foster democracy.
Those streams are where we get our water. Saving that salmon ultimately is about making sure your grandkids can drink clean water.
Nonprofits like Russian River Keeper, along with federal, state, and local agencies, are assessing the fire damage.
I realized that the reason why you have neighborhoods where, we call it food desert, but I really think about it as food apartheid because of redlining, white supremacy, and all those different types of things. But at the end of the day, what the core thing of why these communities remain this way is because of a lack of relationships.
At Farms to Grow, we started with the mission to support African American farmers, sprout the next generation of small farmers, and make sure that we had a story to tell.
Wool is magic as far as I'm concerned. wool gets more magic the more I learn about it. And it's a wonderful, sustainable fiber that can be eventually composted in the soil. And with a local presence, it's also an opportunity to provide a model and lead the way for others and educate others in how this can be done.